being strategy that you believe to be successful for Indian healthcare scenario going forward? So,
My dear brothers and sisters, thanks for inviting me for this discussion. Must thank Dr. Saujanya for all the things. She asked a delicate question, whether is the collaborative with colleagues, not a colleagues, the business module, how far it will be successful. If you don't think of finance, it will be successful. In many of the ways. So if you are financially, it's going on okay, till that time there is no problem with the collaboration. If there are any financial discrepancies, then probably this collaborative model won't work. So that is my personal thing. And you take the, in type, this is in metros, what you are talking in metros. In tier 2 and tier 3 cities, where our Uday Shankar and all of them are practicing, probably collaborative things are most useful in this sense.
Okay. If I can reframe the question a little more, sir. Okay, what did you find as a tangible and intangible advantages put together? Because when we talk finance, it's pretty tangible.
Yes.
When we're talking of collaborations, there are also intangible advantages of collaborations, maybe the indirect revenue making advantages. Also, if you can please throw a light on the kind of collaboration that you got into, so that many of our peers would be interested to learn it from you.
Exactly. So I'm basically a surgeon. A surgeon who works from morning to evening rarely find time to manage the hospitals and other things. So somebody helps in managing the hospital, or for future investments like expanding the system with for example, a surgeon, we also need a linear accelerator for radiation. So that itself, and a PET CT. We have the nuclear medicine department. You have other ancillary departments. So if somebody takes care of that, it is an advantageous for me to have everything under one roof.
The intangible advantage.
Yeah, that's a great advantage. Then probably at one time, you have to have a mutual understanding between these two groups. Then if you have a mutual understanding and you have to sacrifice something.
It's also a trade-off.
Yeah, that's an advantage if you have a combined with collaboration. And one more thing is, so think of facilities which we have in Indian scenario. We have 700 linear accelerators in India, in entire India, of which you can take about in Telangana, we have 50. In Telangana, we have 50. Out of 50, 42 in Hyderabad.
Oh.
This is called centralization.
Pretty much.
Whenever you have a centralization, so it is very difficult for, in the future at least, to have a successful model. So all the entrepreneurs and collaborative models should go to tier 2 or tier 3 cities, at least to have a better healthcare, a better understanding, and better revenues.
Excellent, sir. You gave us the cue to move on to Dr. Shekhar. Dr. Shekhar, you've been comfortably sliding between the metros to tier 2s and tier 3s. So I think you're able to understand the decentralization part of it also, of the care. And in this, how do you address the challenges of accessibility, one that you're trying to solve, but also the affordability in tier 2 and 3 areas?
Good afternoon, everybody. I just like to thank Dr. Saujanya and the entire team for providing me this opportunity. So adding on to both the senior doctors here, my experience with Kangaroo Care, we started in Bangalore and it went on well. We had a kind of competition from other corporate sectors as a women and children hospital. Then we went to tier 2 cities like Mysore, and there we could find some kind of local, cultural difference when compared to Bangalore. So we got adapted to the local culture with respect to the practices, with respect to the price, affordability, and acceptance. So it took 2 years for them to accept, and slowly we got better. And that made me to think that, okay, in tier 3 cities there is a vacuum. So in tier 3 cities in the district headquarters, some of the district headquarters, they can afford, but they don't have the healthcare facilities. And why we are not entering into tier 3 cities is because we are not aware of the requirement.
The environment.
Yeah, see, there's a place called Ramnagaram where I come from. That's my native. It's a district place, very politically hotbed. It's about 35 kilometers, and it's easy, 45 minutes to drive, but there is no good healthcare facilities. Everybody comes to Bangalore. But people can afford, quite rich because of the lands. So we took over a campus and we started, 8 months back. And there was a vacuum, health vacuum, and need was there. And the doctors' availability is also available because they can travel from Bangalore. That's a very key factor for us. We get buildings, people can afford, but the HR, especially the doctors, specialized doctors, it's a problem. That's one of the reasons that we can't go to the tier 3 cities, for all the tier 3 cities. Giving all the infrastructure, keeping the price affordable, helped us to have a operational break even in 8 months.
Great.
So people did not expect us that we will do good. And we have to change over the entire hospital. The infrastructure has to be changed, the look has to be changed, the feel has to be changed, but the prices has to be kept affordable for the local crowd. That made us to establish, and now we are thinking about other tier 3 cities. So adding on to Sir's question, that disruption in healthcare, this is one disruption.
True.
Disrupting the monotonous approach of the doctors and the corporate sectors, being in tier 1 cities, looking at your P&L revenue, then scaling up, getting investors. This is a different way where you give service, make name, make brand, and help the people, and also sustain and make a big brand later. That's my understanding.
Shekhar, coming to the point, how easy was it to replicate your operational practices between the tier 1 to 2 cities that you were moving?
I think there is a challenge in tier 2 and tier 3. It starts right from the doctors, patients, and the concept understanding, and the staff. So what we have done is we have gone into a kind of a system development. One person, as Sir said, one person being a doctor we can't do. We've got teams. So team has to be put in place. You have SOPs, you have manuals. And if you have that very strong, and if you're implementing and monitoring, I think we can do it anyway. Time. We request some time.
Amazing. Great learning from you. Sir, the next thing, let's move on into let's address the elephant in the room being, how comfortable are people with investing into healthcare in India? And that's our next topic that we want to move into, because we all understand that our healthcare system is capex intensive. It needs more amount of investments that for us to expand more. Even the disruptive strategies will play only with investments. So coming to that, sir, what do you think are the primary factors influencing investment decisions in the Indian hospital sector or medical services sector, to be precise, and how do they impact the potential returns on investment? Over to you, sir. Paparao, sir.
Okay. As far as the healthcare equity is concerned, I won't say it is as investing. Allow me to change that perspective a bit. I think I would say healthcare equity. It is like this. I'll try to explain at the macro level and then come down to the micro level a little bit later. But at a macro level, if you see the healthcare parameters, we are one of the most backward in the sense of certain metrics, whether it is in relation to the beds to population, whether it is in relation to the number of professionals to population, or the adequacy of medical institutes. If you consider all this, I think we are at least require about 2.5 times the size of Indian healthcare, what is existing today. And if you look at the last, I think about 15 years, most of the investments have shifted. I would say, first of all, we shifted healthcare completely, has migrated into private sector.
True.
The government or the state-sponsored healthcare is only about 18%. though they own about 50% of the beds in the country. Now the other 50% of the beds which have cropped up in the last 1.5 decade in this country, in the private sector, actually bears about 82% of healthcare expenditure. So it is just very simply you can conclude that healthcare is going to be only in private sector in this country for the next 3-4 decades unless the government wakes up. But then healthcare across the globe is becoming unsustainable. Now wherever there are well evolved healthcare systems in countries where it is state sponsored, if given the choice, they would like to get out of those, of the healthcare responsibility. So in such an eventuality, when the market size is about 2.5 times, I think investment is just a foregone conclusion. You require tremendous amount of capital infusion into this system to get up to that requirement of the citizens' healthcare. Now, having said that, now where is this happening? Hitherto, in the last 1.5 to 2 decades, I think most of the healthcare investment happened into only metro or tier 1 based cities.
True.
And into acute care beds. But that healthcare is not only acute care and not only in metro end. So if it has to go into hinterland, like what Shekhar was mentioning about, I think it requires enormous amount of capital and then the migration of the capital from tier 1 to this hinterland. Now, having said that, how that investment has to come into it. Now, why, look at the recent happenings that is here. Why should a Blackstone come into India? And then why should all these, I would say the top-notch alternate investments funds are coming into India? Obviously, they are seeing something in Indian healthcare. So I would say Indian healthcare has not even started in this country. I mean, healthcare in India has not even started. We are still at the starting blocks. We didn't even take the first step in the race. So if the country, somebody was saying in one of the keynote address, if we have to become a $10 trillion economy by 2030 or 32, or for that matter, if you have to become a 45 or $50 trillion economy by 2045 or so, now where this money will come from? Obviously the growth is here in this country. And what does a growth requires in anyone? It is proven across the world. Either it has to be education, the investment has to go into education or healthcare.
Health.
So Indian healthcare, I think, is a sunrise sector. Investment has to happen. And if we don't think about and do this domestic investment, like what happened in traditional e-commerce companies like Flipkarts and others, the foreign investment will come, FDI will come, and then the capital flow and the returns will go back outside back again to those countries. I think it is better we wake up and think about getting investment from the domestic people into their domestic companies. I think that would be my perspective.
Amazing.
And then we are very clear that these are all capital intensive units. Though all this technological innovation with miniaturization of all these monitoring devices to surgical intervention happening, hopefully the costs also may come down. So if that is the thing that is going to happen, I think there will be some meaning in the type of investment that happens and the returns you get. I think this would be my perspective.
Sir, Chandrasekhar Rao, sir. So, sir has, as usual, taken over the next question. The same thing, sir. The latest advancements in healthcare technology, how good are you? Because you come from a legacy of long, for decades of experience, and the technological changes in healthcare are quite rapid of late, to be very fair. So, what's the role of adoption of advanced healthcare technologies into your current practices, despite being legacy, and how did it change the ROI? Was it bad? Was it good? So it's open, like, let's discuss it amongst our people. That's the whole point. Yeah, keeping it pretty open.
I would like to support Dr. Rampapa Rao about this, the healthcare scenario. If you take the doctor versus the population ratio, we have at the present 0.4 per 1,000. Actually, we require a minimum of 1.5 per thousand. Then a nurse is hardly 1 per thousand. You require 3 per thousand.
True.
Then you see the number of medical colleges are coming up, and proportionately we don't find nursing colleges. So this is one of the, and as far as this is concerned, your investment, now as in today, the healthcare industry in India is around 8,50,000 crores.
Wow.
As in if you combine entire healthcare industry.
Whoa.
This is going to increase by 16 lakhs odd in 2030.
So,
So
sir
where
says
the
we have
money
not
comes,
even started.
but the Grambaba Rao's question was very
He
valid.
says we have not even
Where
started.
these 8 lakh crores are going to come? The Indians have a lot of money. You can see the stock market, how much people are investing it. So, but nobody would like to invest on the healthcare in like how they invest on Reliance and other companies. But it is not a immediate return. Any healthcare industry, you don't find an immediate return. So you have to wait and watch. How many years investor always thinks, how many decades I would like to invest.
True. True.
Probably takes very long time. So that is what I thought I will add. So there is a large need of money in healthcare industry. We require, now it's around 1.5 million beds available. Almost double the beds are needed. And you know, Ayushman Bharat, which the entire Indian budget is around 84,549 crores per year. That's all. So 84,500 crore into 5 is not going to do anything on the central budget. And states are nothing. The spit of the central budget is going to use. So that is what I feel. Then
So-
my question is,
You're giving us a gloomy picture on the ROI. It's scary.
no, ma'am, Indians have a lot of money.
Okay.
Indians have a lot of money, but they will not invest in the healthcare. They will invest in the real estate, as one of the the predecessor entrepreneurs told. Because
Quick
entrepreneur wants
gratification.
money.
No, there is quick gratification. There is tangible return there. You can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
something happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Here, I think.
medical companies' equipment will depreciate, whereas your plots will appreciate.
Yes.
So that's the basic difference. Suppose if you buy the robo, it costs around 15 crores. After 5 years, it will become 8 crores. So that is the problem with investing in Indian economy, Indian medicine.
When we come to that, that fact stays true for every technology, sir.
Yes.
Technology advancements, they get obsolete pretty fast. I think at least in healthcare, the redundancy is slow when compared to other industries. Would you agree to it, sir? I see the machine's redundancy in a way is relatively slow because there is FDA, the regulations, regulatory acceptances and all, which puts a hold on redundancy is what I say. I don't say it's because of the technological evolution not happening, but more of a regulatory perspective, the redundancy is slow.